Hi students, welcome to the overview video for week 6. We are now in part of the writing process where you have submitted a first draft, and now we are gathering insight from our quote fellow travelers. Okay, so those are our peers, but also ourselves as we do what we call the self-evaluation. So let's take a look at some of the things you have in the unit this week to help you gather that insight, that feedback. So I have reposted the writing project 1 just for easy access. I've linked back to that, so you can, if you need to get the prompt handout worksheet again or the readings, you have access to that. Now, one of the places you have for feedback where you'll get a pretty quick turnaround is the BrainFuse Writing Lab. Now, this is really easy, it's free, and so take advantage of this resource, and don't forget you have access to this in all of your CBC courses. So it's fairly easy to use. When you click on it, you're going to be taken to some options. Now, the main thing to realize is, yes, they have a live help, but probably what you want for a paper, which is the writing lab option. And so you click on the submit the paper, and then you're taken to a form. Don't stress out too much on the form. You're going to get feedback even if you click the wrong answer. But so you're doing an academic essay. We don't have citations for format, but we are using MLA 9th. And then you can select up to 3 options here. Now, since you're doing more of a personal narrative than the traditional academic essay that has 3 points and 5 paragraphs, or it's more analytical, we'll do one of those later. But for now, we're doing a personal narrative, so all these options might not be as helpful, right? So you don't want to do sources, since this paper doesn't have sources, for example. You don't really have a thesis statement. You have more of an insight in a narrative that comes at the end. So I don't know, I'm going to just select some that I think would be helpful for a narrative. Okay, and so you don't have to choose all of these, but these are some areas that you might think about. And there is an other, so you can put your own in here, and that might be a good one too. Okay. This is also a good place to put the assignment prompt, so they know exactly what you're responding to. So all you have to do is open that Writing Project 1 handout that has the prompt on it, and you can copy and paste it right into the box. And then the last step is to attach your draft. Any other comments you want to have, you can put in there, and then you click submit. The only thing that you have to remember is to come back into your course to check your feedback. I don't think they send it to your emails. You'll have to remember to check it. And you can check it up here with your mailbox whenever you want to click on the BrainFuse Writing Lab link. Okay. So you do have access to that here and in your student resources folder at the top. So I have it linked a couple places. Now, the other assignment you'll be doing this week is a self-evaluation of your paper, of your draft. So this is the same draft, or it could be different if you've already made changes. So a version of your draft, probably the most recent version would be best. You're going to upload your own draft to this assignment. So instead of me assigning you a reading, you're going to be uploading your own. So this is the same as the critical thinking and reading assignment. It's just a little bit different because you're uploading your own paper to review and annotate. Okay, so just make sure you follow all the instructions. When it comes to uploading the paper, it walks you through it, and make sure that you use a Word document and not a PDF, because you want to make sure that that annotation tool is usable. So make sure you use the document for that. Okay, I also have some videos, and well, it's a little presentation. I kind of do a short overview presentation for you here, and I've recorded this one. This one actually has audio. Some check your knowledge questions that will appear on a quiz, possibly. And then a couple of short peer review videos to just give you some guidance on what peer reviewing is all about. So you can check your knowledge and practice on that page. And then the next assignment will be a little quiz giving you some questions to, again, check your knowledge on what you've learned about peer reviewing. And you want to do all that before you do the peer review. Could you do the self-evaluation out of order and do that later? Yes, that would be fine, but do the quiz before you go into the writing project one. When you go back into this portion, now that date's wrong. I'm gonna fix that date there, so don't you worry about that. I'm in my master shell, and sometimes my dates are a little. Now, so what you're seeing on mine, yours will look a little bit different, but because I'm not a real student, but you should be able to get a page where you're going to see you have 2 reviews, and you continue to, it's marking mine in red, so you'll kind of know if you didn't submit a draft, it'll tell you it's past due, and it gives you this kind of thing. But you have assigned peer reviews, and you should be able to have a button that says, gives you the option to continue into your reviews. Now, when I submit this, it's going to take me to submit the draft because it's telling me I haven't done the draft. But you will see an option once you've submitted the draft to continue and work on your peer reviews, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and get to that part. So again, yours will look a little bit different, but when you get to, so it's asking me for the draft, but what you'll do is you will get to the peer review assignment. And when you're in that part of the assignment, here's what you're going to do. You're going to use these questions that are, basically this is a worksheet, okay? It has questions, and some of the questions I give you a little more guidance, like a little paragraph explaining like what to look for. So here's the best strategy. Download this, and you can type your answers right on it as a Word document, okay? That way, you will have the questions and answers all in one place. Then you can copy the questions and answers about your peer's paper to the box, and then you will click Submit when you have finished it. You could also attach it, but either copy and pasting or attaching, just make sure that you have the questions and answers completed for your peer, for each peer. So remember, you're going to have 2 of these to do, okay? And I have some guidelines about how to do this part of the process. So just make sure you follow all instructions. And if you have any questions, let me know. Peer reviewing can be a little bit of a messy process. If somebody doesn't submit a draft, or you get a draft and they linked when the guidelines said not to link, but some students don't follow instructions, and so you might get one you can't open. If that happens to you, just send me an email and we'll figure out next steps, okay? And just don't panic. Peer reviewing can be a little bit of a messy process. If you have not yet submitted a draft, you will not be able to participate in the peer review without that, okay? And if you do submit late, you may not get 2 reviews. You may not get 2 reviews back, or any reviews back if you didn't submit on time. That's just the nature of peer review. It is a group type of assignment. If your peer does not do what they're supposed to do, that does not impact your grade, okay? So keep that in mind. And once you have completed those are your 2 big assignments for the week, in addition to the self-evaluation and quiz. So the other thing I want to remind you of is that I've just linked to the resources for narrative writing, because during this week, as you're giving feedback, you may want to start revising. The next folder, the next unit, will focus more on revision strategies. But for right now, if you feel like there's some things you want to revisit and work on, you have access to that inside this unit. Okay, so keep working on it. Seek feedback from others, and use your Brain Fuse as a resource. And then we will talk more in the next unit about what to do with that feedback and apply it to our drafts. Have a great week, everyone.